In this video, I'm going over the Yosuda indoor spin bike after using it for 30 days. The Yosuda indoor spin bike is just that. It is a stationary bike you can use from the comfort of your home gym in order to get additional cardio in throughout the week. And while I can bike on the roads and the sidewalks, sometimes those sidewalks push you into the actual lanes that cars use on the road. And since it's going about 45 miles an hour and I'm not going even close to that on my bike, I could get run off the road with it being dark, and I really do not want that to happen in fear for my own life. And since I don't like running very much either, I decided why not try and get a spin bike, see if it also fits in my closet, and then I can have it as part of my home gym. So with that in mind, I bought the Yosuda indoor spin bike on November 2nd of 2020 from Amazon.com. The final price came out to $368.04 after Texas taxes. So this bike is actually on the cheaper end of most spin bikes I've found on the market today. It took about a week for me to receive the product, and I did a full unboxing video if you'd like to take a look at how hard and how long it took me to put it together, as well as my first impressions after putting the entire bike together from scratch. The Yosuda spin bike also comes with an LCD monitor that helps you track your workouts each and every time you do them. Simply jump onto the bike and start pedaling, and the LCD monitor will light up, starting your workout or continuing from where you left off. With that, let's jump into my pros and cons of the Yosuda indoor spin bike after using it for 30 days. My first pro is that the price is excellent compared to many of the other ones I reviewed and are similar on Amazon.com. Getting this bike for under $400, and it is an Amazon choice as of shooting this video, this is kind of a steal, I'd say, for an indoor bike of this quality. Next up, the bike feels very sturdy. I fluctuate between 183 to 185 pounds throughout each week, and the bike holds my weight very well. I'm also about 5'11", so if you were anywhere in that range of either height or weight, just know that this bike works very well and is very stable when using it. Note, I did have to adjust the height of the seat and handlebars as well as move the seat back a bit when first getting on it, but that's pretty easy to do right out of the bat, and I would just watch one of the YouTube videos on how to properly set up your bike before jumping in and using it. My next pro is that adding and removing resistance on this spin bike is very easy with the spin wheel that you can use again to turn right, add more resistance, or turn left to reduce the resistance. This is pretty straightforward and similar to most other spin bikes. Again, you turn right for more resistance, left to make it easier, but just know it's very seamless, it works very smooth. I've had no problems with it, so make sure that you're using it properly and that you add enough resistance in order to get a good workout in. You will also get a mount that is put on the bike. This is just plastic and it holds your mobile phone or a tablet. I don't personally use a tablet or have one, so I just use my phone, but if you have a tablet, you can also put it in this holder as well if you are doing something like tracking a workout. I personally am using the GCN YouTube channel to do just 30-minute workouts here and there as I use it, but if you were following any other type of app or other workout program, you can simply lay it down in that mobile holder and watch it from there. And my last pro is that it does come with an additional brake pad. These are made of wool, so they will deteriorate over time, meaning you will need to replace it, so it is nice that they give you another one. I don't know how long it'll last since it's only been 30 days, but so far I feel like it hasn't gone very far through my bike itself, so I think this should last, I'd say, probably even years to come. With that, let's take a look at my cons for the Yosuda indoor spin bike. My first con is that it is very big, heavy, and bulky to move around your room. I recommend setting it up and leaving it in a spot, but if you're like me and try and put it in your closet, taking it in and out each time can be kind of a hassle, as I am having to maneuver it around my room. So if your room's pretty cluttered, this may not be the most enjoyable thing to do, but just know it is decently heavy and not the easiest thing to maneuver around a smaller office room like the one I have. My next con is that the resistance is hard to gauge on the bike when using it, as there's no indication on the monitor what that current resistance is. Because it is set up as a simple wool brake pad, they don't give you any feedback on the value of the resistance you are using. So if you are trying to progress and get stronger with the resistance you're going against for your workouts, it may be hard to track that for your workouts each time. For example, in the GCN workouts I personally use, they have 30-second sprints where I have to increase the resistance on the bike so I can stand and really press against it. However, I can't gauge against a prior workout what that number was because there is no number given back to me as feedback on the bike itself. So I'm kind of just guessing and moving the knob to the right to make it harder so I can just stand up. But other than that, I have no real gauge on if I'm progressing or not. Moving along, my next con is that the bike seat, after using it 2 to 3 times, does actually begin to turn right and left for me, meaning that it goes laterally left or right, depending on how I'm kind of biking that day. This means I do have to reset it every 2 to 3 workouts just because it starts coming loose, which is a bit of annoying. It's not like the end of the world. It's pretty easy to set back. But just note, for me, I've had it so that seat does come loose, and you might want to end up replacing it in the future. Also with the seat, for me, it is not the most comfortable. I found that after doing, especially the sprints in my workouts, after doing like 2 to 3 of them, my butt is just really sore and uncomfortable on that seat. Now, this may be common for someone who didn't bike all the time and is now looking into doing it, but just note, for me, it's been pretty uncomfortable even in the first month. Basically, every single workout I've done, after 2 to 3 of these that I've gone through, it just feels very uncomfortable for me. It is padded well and whatnot. If you're doing just a simple bike, it's fine. But once you get into those sprint workouts and really start pushing yourself, it just started to get really uncomfortable. Up next is that if you are using this near anyone trying to sleep, it may wake them up and get them very annoyed, as it is pretty loud, especially when I go into something like heavy sprint biking. While not terrible in total noise volume, it is something that could be heard if you were in, say, the next room from someone else. So if you live with a bunch of people, say like in like a dorm room scenario, or if you're in an apartment like me and the next room over is a bedroom, you may need to watch out with how much noise you are making. And this bike isn't the quietest I've ever seen on the market. However, it is still a good bike. It's not super loud, so if, like now, I'm not disturbing my wife at all as I'm a few rooms over, but if I was right next to her in the next room, it would probably become a problem. One of my biggest cons I have for this is when I initially started and tested this with putting it in my closet, it seemed like it was working just fine, but after trying it a few more times, it actually doesn't fit within the 20 inches of my door frame. That is because the actual width of the front is a little over 22 inches in length. So I actually have to shimmy the bike itself into my closet to get it to work. And that's one of the major cons for me. As you know, I like to put all my stuff away in my closet when I'm not using it, so it doesn't even look like it's in my room at all. But this is hard to do because it's just too wide. So basically I have to push it up, shimmy it side to side, as it does weigh a lot and it is bulky, and then I can get it into my closet. But this also opens me up to damaging my doorway if I mess up and hit against it. So it's something I have to consider, especially moving forward, if I would like to keep the bike because of this main reason. Now with that, my bike does fit in the closet itself when it's in there, so I actually put it in and close the door. It's just getting it in and out of the closet itself. So if you were someone with a wider door frame, you probably want one at least 24 inches or wider. This would not be a problem for you at all, but for me, it is a big determining factor on if I want to keep this in the future. And my last con is that there's no way to pass the stats that come from the bike into my other apps, such as Fitbit, that I track most of my other workouts on. Now you can buy additional pieces to this, something like power pedals or a cadence or whatever, and have that pass to another app. However, just strictly basing it on what you get with the product, this is not provided in any way. And that's a little upsetting because I really can't do anything except manually track the workout or just put it on spin and go with the calorie counting and heart rate that my Fitbit gives me, which is all I've been doing for now. But just know, if you would like to track additional things, you will need additional pieces of equipment in order to get those other stats. So the final question I always like to ask myself is, would I buy this product again? And the answer is actually a yes and a no. If I had a bigger closet that I could fit this bike in, I think I would buy it again, especially coming in at this price at under $400. And also, if you're looking, or you're someone who doesn't want to really track anything, you simply just want to use it as a way to burn more calories in your workout, then this bike is a good choice for you. With that being said, Renpho did just announce and launch a new indoor spin bike that does magnetic resistance and changes the resistance for you based on the app you're running. So they actually have their own app they kind of built and have workouts in, which is subscription free, and that is a big thing for me, not having subscriptions. So I am getting that bike in a few weeks. I think it did say it was shipped out. So once I get that, I will be comparing it against this bike, but just know that one is about twice the cost of this. So that's where you have to kind of weigh your pros and cons as to what you want. But if you're just someone who wants a stationary bike simply to get in a little more calories burned and have a low-cost bike, this is a great choice for you. If you're looking for something a little more special, you can try and go with the Renpho one I'm going to get in hopefully a week or two. So with that, that is the end of my 30-day review of the Yosuda indoor spin bike. If you did like this review, please like and subscribe to GamerBody for more reviews just like this one. Also, make sure you head over to GamerBody.com. There you can check out my current workout program, the equipment I own and use, and the information I'm learning from to continue to build muscle and confidence, all from the comfort of home. And that is it. So again, please like and subscribe. I will see you all in the next video. Be fit and game on.